Hello viewers, today is Wednesday, June the 2nd, 2022. Here in Ontario, there is a provincial election tomorrow on the 2nd of June. If polls are to be believed, Doug Ford and his Conservatives are headed toward a second majority government. Mind you, he will do so with under 40% of the vote. That's not exactly popular support. But Ontario deserves so much better than more Ford used car salesman politics and slogans, which is all he's ever offered. So I hope Ontarians snap out of it and don't make a huge mistake tomorrow and give him a second mandate. Let's go through the list of Ford hypocrisy and failures for just a moment. When Ford came into office, he canceled all green energy contracts for wind turbines and even the electric vehicle tax credits, the provincial tax credits. Now he's pretending to be pro-environment. His government has opted to not rebuild the nuclear plants, though, and he's committing to building new gas plants. That's not a good production for electricity going forward. That's not green. And that gets us into the next issue, electricity. Ford arguably swept into office because the previous Liberal government did a bad thing and they privatized Hydro one of Ontario's major electric transmission and production organizations. He said he would reduce rates by 10 to 15%, yet rates have actually went up for most people, so he lied. Dougie is also pretending to be pro-electric vehicle now, yet he never restarted those provincial level tax credits to make EV ownership more affordable. Yeah, that's what he did. That was his first course of action back when he got elected. Doug Ford has overseen some of the most drastic and shocking household inflationary periods in Ontario history. Home prices are so unaffordable and have gotten so much worse in the last 4 years, much worse than the last 15 years before him, despite COVID and the economic problems associated with it. Yet his government has done nothing to help the Ontario housing affordability crisis. Condos that were selling for only $250,000 4 years ago meant some of those are on the market now for $5, $6, even $700,000. Like, the inflation is ridiculous. You can't afford that. Ford got rid of rent control for newer properties for renters, and his Conservatives are frothing at the mouth at the possibility of getting rid of rent control for all properties. They would do it if they could. So housing affordability is one reason alone this idiot buffoon Doug Ford doesn't need another mandate handed to him. During COVID, we've seen his Minister of Health tout privatized options for speeding up backlogs in healthcare rather than investing in public healthcare and public hospitals. And to round it out, the Doug Ford Conservatives are now pretending to be pro-union and pro-worker. I can't make this shit up. They haven't met a single union they really like. And they haven't, there isn't a single worker they wouldn't like to cut their wages for. The minimum wage was halted. The increases were halted until the last year, just before this election. They froze minimum wages for 3 years. They're now telling the voter whatever they think the voter wants to hear to get elected. Yet, whenever they're in office, they're only going to promote big business interests, and that's what they've always stood for. They're conservatives. They're the business party. And they also have a home base for social conservatives with some pretty backwards views. So my friends, we can do better in Ontario. I'm hoping tomorrow people give this province a surprise and give these cons the boot, because that's what conservatives are. A bunch of con men. Thank you for watching.